everyone and welcome back to my channel. Here I am with the hair change again. I'm actually trying to go back to platinum blonde because I don't know, I just got sick of the dark hair again. So yeah, going back, and I have this kind of like lovely rose golden hair now and I kind of like it. I might leave it for a while. Anyways, I wanted to talk about relationship myths. It's gonna be a series of videos and just breaking the dogma of relationships and what they should be. So I'm gonna follow up actually the dogmas from the book. Let me just show you what book it is. The book is The Ethical Slut. When you open the book on the page, let's see, number 15, there's like myths about sluts or the ethical sluts or the polyamorous people or just relationship myths. That's what I kind of wanted to call it, really, because you don't really have to be polyamorous or anything like it to believe in these myths. Like, you can be strictly monogamous and still get zero benefit from this shit. But we are raised this way and we are taught to believe that the only way to have a relationship is basically to fit into dogmas and to fit into other people's ideas of what a relationship should be. And it might be really good to kind of like go and punch these things out and break them and maybe talk about what relationships really are and could be. So the first myth is that the long-term monogamous relationships are the only kinds of relationships. Now, if we look at the animal kingdom, because we're animals after all as well, there's rare cases of lifelong monogamy between two animals. So there's all kinds of relationships. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but I will put a book in the comments that is really great dealing with that, with the history of relationships even amongst Homo sapiens and amongst people, and monogamy is relatively new. It actually kind of kicked in at the same time as the religion did. So it's kind of strictly connected to that, and with no further ado, I don't want to go deeply into it, but it was made to control females and just to be sure that the offspring is yours, because yeah, that's very important, right? So the child you're feeding is not someone else's child, and the other thing that's important, obviously, is that you actually created that child, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, so the long-term monogamous relationships are the only ones that should be, and are the only right ones, and are the only way that you should lead your life. And it's very curious because, look, honestly, even I feel sometimes I have that standard inside me, and sometimes it's making my life very hard because it's messing up with other things that I have inside me. So the first thing is like that is very confusing is if you're obviously not monogamous, so if you're polyamorous and you're still striving to have that perfect monogamous relationship, it's going to mess up your polyamory, so you're not going to be able to be fully polyamorous. But also, even if you're monogamous, and I mean, like, sometimes it just takes a while to find a perfect partner or someone that you really want to have something special with. So it does you no good if you have a lot of short relationships and you blame yourself for that and you feel very bad about that. Basically, you can build your life and build your relationships any way you want. Let's talk about friendship. We don't have these strict rules with friendship. Like, you can be friends with one person, you can be friends with 20 people, you can have 0 friends. I mean, like, everything goes, and you behave in that regard in a way, like, whatever feels good, you do it, right? And you don't dwell or you think a lot about it. But with love relationships, like, we tend to form so many rules of what this relationship should be and what needs it should satisfy, and it feels like we're stuck in this little box and there's not enough space in there. There's also another problem in here, because we think a man or a woman or whatever is going to show up one day and we're going to madly fall in love with that person and we're never going to feel sexual attraction to anyone else again. And this is a huge problem, because this is not the way that sexuality works. Sexuality works in a manner where it's completely independent from the rest of the system. So even if you love someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is going to turn you on, and vice versa. Sometimes the people that kind of get us going are not the people that we would fall in love or date. And these things happen independently. And the more we try to suppress these things, the more violent they are. And they're like, if you're closing the door on an emotion, that emotion keeps on knocking. And one day, and this is what happens with people that cheat, one day that emotion just kind of breaks in and you do stuff that you never thought you would, especially with the help of alcohol or whatever, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I would never do this, like this is so not me. No, it is you. It is you. But if we kind of like notice our emotions, and if we keep them checked, if we are aware of them, if we don't suppress them, we can have the control over it. That is what makes us in the end humans and the most intelligent creature on this planet. I hope so. So there's so many issues with the long-term monogamous relationships. So sometimes it's just not your cup of tea, but you're taught it needs to be. Sometimes, you know, you're gonna feel stuff for other people and then you're not gonna allow yourself, you're gonna feel bad about it. And there's also, as the world is evolving, we have different types of people. So I know a couple of people that just love to be alone. So they hate sharing their life space with other people. They love dating, they love going out with people, they can love them, but they just don't want them to be part of their home. So they love being alone. Or there's people that don't feel in certain times of their lives that they're ready to commit. And that's also fine. Like if you want to take time, if you think that's needed. And this is the biggest problem basically. So we're not listening to ourselves enough. So we never go with what I feel and what I want, is what I should. And you know, we've been fed with that ever since we were born, pretty much. Like, especially if you're a girl, you've been fed with these fairy tales of a perfect man that's gonna come in and then you're gonna live happily ever after, and no one ever explained to you what this happily ever after means, because they don't know. Even the people that wrote these stories, they don't know what happens after, because nobody wants to talk about that. It's too messy, it's too dirty. I feel like I'm in a relationship for 11 years and I feel very happy, but only for a reason that I never, throughout these 11 years, like I never suppress what I feel. Like if I walk down the street and I see someone that looks nice, I turn around, even if my partner is there, and he does the same. And with two of us allowing each other that kind of freedom, we feel comfortable with each other. But of course, there's a lot of emotions that can pop here. People think we're mad sometimes. But I mean, most of you feel and think the same. So why can't you share that with a partner that you love so much? Like, why do you have to say that to a friend secretly? Or, I don't know, just hide it from everyone to keep your reputation? It's mad. I think it's very important in the end to make your own choices. So if monogamy is your dream and it's truly something that you want, you should pursue it 100%, and I'll be the happiest person for you. If this isn't your thing, if you're dreaming of being independent your entire life, why not? If you're dreaming to have 2, 3, 4, 5 partners, that's alright. If you're dreaming to have as many partners a week that you want, that's alright, go for it. But be honest with yourself and with other people, and pretty much anything can work. We're coming to an age or I'm so happy we're coming to this age because everything is fine. It's like I walk down the streets of Dublin, it's Pride Month, and there's flags on every single pub, and I am so proud. I am extremely proud because we allow ourselves finally to be whatever we are, and now we need to continue doing that with other things, with relationships, with polyamory, with monogamy. We need to revise stuff. Like, monogamy, the way that we want to live it, was invented so long ago. It doesn't suit this age anymore, and it needs to be revised a bit. Like, if you really want that true partnership, true monogamy, you're gonna have to be very honest with your partner and talk with him or her or them every day and just go through everything and be honest. So basically, the monogamous relationships are not the only relationships. Anything can be a relationship. I have a relationship with my cat. You know, like, we have a perfect, I don't know, human-animal relationship that goes both ways. I feed her, I cuddle her, I keep her warm, she keeps me happy. We have a relationship. It's a legit relationship. I have relationships with my friends, you know, I give them something, they give me something in return. We care for each other, and we're there for each other. They make me happy, I make them happy. So there's also relationships I have with people that sometimes are serious, sometimes they're just fun, but they're still legit relationships and should be valued as any monogamous relationship should be valued, because they are worthy as well. And sometimes by chasing that perfect monogamous long-term until death do us part relationships, you waste a lot of chances for different types of relationships that would probably make you happy as well. And that's always a mistake, because look for companionship, look for happiness, look for time well spent. And even if monogamy is your final goal, it's just not gonna happen the way you think it will. It will grow out from something else. Anyways, guys, what do you think? Are monogamous, long-term, until death do us apart relationships the only ones that can be labeled as relationships in the first place? Or you think that every relationship, even the one I have with my cat, is valid and important? Because, God, I love that cat more than some people. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this video. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment, leave a like, and please do subscribe. And see you. Cheers!